7 months later, and this is what the rose bushes look like. Keep your roses blooming, you're going to want to cut blooms that are dying at the first 5 leaf. In this case, it would be right here. But because the stem is so thin, you can actually go down to the next 5 leaf if you so choose. And here's another one way down here. So you can cut it down here if you like. And what happens when you do that is that it makes the stems grow thicker. And ultimately, you want stems to be the size of a pencil. Dead blooms, like this one, you can also cut it at the first 5 leaf, which looks like it's... Actually, I would cut it all the way down to the bottom because I don't see a 5 leaf. Bigger clusters of blooms like this one, since there's a bud right here and here, I would probably cut here. And then with these 3 right here, I would just cut it here. Here's a good example of 2 dead blooms. You'd want to cut it at the first 5 leaf, which is right here. But because this is so thin, if you want to grow thicker stems, you might want to cut it down even further down here at this 5 leaf. After roses die, sometimes they turn into these fruits, and these are called rose hips. All the energy from the plant is now going to these rose hips because they're fruit, and inside they will bear seeds, which you can actually propagate the rose with the seeds, or you can actually take those rose hips and when they turn a red color, you can make them into a tea and it'll manage pain. When cutting rose hips, you're just going to want to cut them all the way down to the base of the stem. So for this rose hip, it's right here. This rose bloom, it's ideal because the stem is the size of a pencil. So you want to cut it at the first 5 leaf, which will be this one right here. You want to cut it right there. You want to make sure that the branches aren't crisscrossing and bunching up. You want the bush to be really airy. This is a good example, and you can shape it even more if you'd like, so it can be more round like a bush. It's possible to maintain the rose bush every week when it first starts in the springtime to grow the stems. You can just look for stems on the interior of the bush, like here, and it's crisscrossing a lot. And so you can get rid of some of these real twiggy branches and keep the thick ones intact. But basically you want to give the bush a real airy feeling on the inside so the air can circulate through the rose bush.